The headship of every man that is born again is Christ. It is Christ that is supposed to exercise headship over him. You see, the reason why Apostle Paul comes into this matter is because he himself says he follows Christ, and that is the basis upon which his leadership is predicated. Then he now comes and says, I want you to know this, that the head of every man is Christ. He that is supposed to exercise headship over every man is Christ, and he that is supposed to exercise headship over the woman in marriage is the man, and the head, or he that exercises headship over Christ, is his father. I need to explain this scripture because this is the scripture of mystery. This is the scripture that he bets because he had revelations along this line. If you come with me to the book of John, which I'm going to invite you to the book of John in a moment of time, and I'm going to show you the example of the incarnate Christ. When I say the incarnate Christ, I mean the mystery of God, when God became man. And the reason why God had to become man is so that, the message of the gospel is that the Son of God became the Son of man, so that sons of men can become sons of God. So it's in order to accomplish redemption that Jesus had to become man. So when we see the example of he who is God and became flesh, when we look at his example, you will notice that Jesus had one preoccupation, and the preoccupation that Jesus had was to fulfill the will of his Father. It is Jesus that revealed to us that he could not do anything of himself. It's only what he sees his Father do that he has capacity to do. It means that Jesus was under the headship of his Father completely, such that there was no time that Jesus' will was in conflict with the will of his Father. In the Garden of Gethsemane, we saw a classical situation that revealed to us that Jesus was not a robot. Jesus had a will independent from the will of his Father. And part of the reason that constituted that prayer that he prayed was because he was trying to journey through prayer to stumble on what the will of his Father was. His own will was that the cup should pass from him, but he was traveling in prayer so that he could secure the Father's will. Before he started the prayer, he thought that the Father's will and the cup were different. And the cup, I mean in this case, is the cup of suffering and the cup of death. So before he started the prayer, he felt that the Father's will and the cup of suffering were different. But when he pressed into the prayer, he saw that the Father's will and the cup of suffering were one. So there was no need to press because he had already known the Father's will. So he started from a broad perspective, and as he was journeying in the Spirit, he found that the cup and the Father's will were one, and he poised himself to submit himself to that cup of suffering which was required to produce our redemption, because he knew without fail that this was his Father's will. His preoccupation was to fulfill whatever he was able to sense that his Father's will was. So when he spoke about his doctrine, he said that his doctrine was not his, but his doctrine belonged to his Father.